on, cat. Come on. Hey, cat. Knock that off. Yeah, it is. Not today, though. Not this weekend. 60 degrees. It's crazy, isn't it? I don't even really need this flannel on. I don't think I can remember a time in February where it was 60 degrees like this. In fact, I think it's, I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or Sunday. It's going to be like an all-time record high. Oh, yeah, I believe it. Well, you guys got worse weather out there on the East Coast this year, didn't you? I mean, you just had a brutal winter. I'm over in southeast South Dakota. Come on, cat, get off there. Really? Well, that sucks for you, man. I mean, I can't say I'm disappointed in the weather here, but it is weird. I mean, there's no other way to explain it. George, what's happening? How are you? Tell you one thing, this is about the end of ice fishing here this year. You know, I don't think anybody's going to trust the ice after this. Not a chance. You damn cat, knock it off. Come on, knock it off. Got a barn cat that just loves to try and tip the camera over. Come on, give it a rest. Oh, the knock on that arrow ain't good. Yeah, come on. I'm actually a left-handed person. I'm shooting right-handed right now, but it looks on the camera like I'm shooting left-handed just because of the inversion. But I am shooting right-handed, but I'm a left-handed person. And I don't know if it affects my aim or not. I just shoot instinctual, so it doesn't really come into play there too much. It's possible though. It's just such a pain in the ass to shoot left-handed bows, you know, you just ain't got the selection like you do if you're right-handed, you know. Yeah. Yeah, they would. It's hit or miss, you know, like what are you trying to do necessarily? You know, I can't, you know, like use a cast net or anything like that. And recently, well, I guess I'm more talking about fishing here, but like recently I can't put a minnow trap in a flowing body of water. So even on the creek that's on my property here, right over there, 20 yards away, I can't put a minnow trap in there, and that kind of pisses me off. And I don't know what the fine for that is, but I know they'll cut your line and take your trap. So that kind of sucks. Hey, cat. Car inspections. I've never had that happen to me, but I know the game warden, like let's say you're out on public land, you know, they can look for, you know, lead shells and shit like that if they want to. And if they find a lead shell, you're in deep shit. I can still shoot lead here. Yeah, I can fish on my own property. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can fish pretty much anywhere. It's just how you can fish is what's regulated, you know. But yeah, I can certainly fish here. I just can't do illegal shit, you know. I couldn't use a cast net or anything like that, you know. And the hunting rules are a little bit more lax on your own property. Like you don't need, if you're a landowner, you don't need a license to shoot upland birds, you know, like pheasants and shit. You do, however, need, no, there's none of that shit. You can drive whatever you want. I drive a shit box all over town. No one ever says a thing, you know, ever, period. There's no state taxes, which is great, you know. I mean, there are drawbacks to living in South Dakota, but if you want to be complete white trash, this is where you want to be. Yeah, it's like I said, benefits and drawbacks, man. You know. A lot of people, you know, during the pandemic kind of flocked to South Dakota because they thought it was this, you know, bastion of freedom. But it's not paradise, you know. It has its problems, just like everywhere else does. I like it here, obviously, because I grew up here, but oh no, web service is great, you know. I get line of sight, you know, there's a water tower, I don't know, 5 miles from me, and I ping off of that. Cell phone service is really good. I mean, I'm not like a fucking hillbilly or anything like that, but you know, I live a little, you know, bit differently. But yeah, we get good cell service and all sorts of shit. But I'm kind of near a major area, you know. This is just a 35-pound bow. This is just what I use for target practice and for bow fishing and shit like that. But yeah, I'm kind of in an area with a lot of shit going on. Like, we got a great big livestock auction just up the road from me. There's a town back there. You know, I'm not out in the middle of nowhere. But things have definitely changed, you know, in the time that I've been alive. You know, when my grandparents lived on this place, it was a little bit different. Healthcare? Well, it depends on where you're at. If you're where I am, you know, we've got two major health systems, you know, right in this area. You know, I'm 20 miles from a major city, Sioux Falls, you know, so you're going to be able to get health care. Now, if you're out in a place like, I don't know, Chamberlain, kind of in that area in the middle of the state, I think things get a little more iffy. You know, you can have services a little bit farther away, and, you know, that's not so great. You know, and if you're, I don't know, over by, you know, if you're over by Rapid City, you're going to be okay, you know, on the far ends of the state. But anywhere in the middle, you know, you might have some trouble. I don't use the arrow for sight at all whatsoever. I just shoot instinctual. I just stare at the target. Just like that. I know a lot of people use, you know, the arrow as a reference point, but it's just not how I do it. Because for the most part, I'm shooting at fish. All right, you take her easy, man. Have a good rest of your night. But yeah, I'm mainly just shooting at fish at like 10 to 15 yards. You know, so I'm not terribly worried about being pinpoint accurate, you know. I mean, something the size of a carp, you know, it's a pretty good size object. Yeah, that's true. About a pie plate, you know, something like that. If I start to get farther away, you know, if I'm at 20, 25 yards, then you're looking at a dinner plate, you know, something like that. And then I've got obviously some wild shots too, you know. Hence the big backstop I got going on back there. Yeah, right now it's about a pie plate. Yep. Oh, could I hit that barn? Oh, hell yeah, I could hit that barn. Absolutely no problem. I don't want to, but it's definitely possible. I'm kind of, you know, firing at a different trajectory than that barn, but yeah, if I pointed it in that direction, I'd definitely hit it. Oh God, yeah, it's got to be over 100 feet to that building, for sure. It's not 200 plus. You're probably pretty accurate at 120 feet, right in that ballpark. I don't know, 180. I mean, I don't think it's quite 180. Maybe 150 ish. Yeah, they do. Is it 21 steps? I wasn't counting. Well, I guess that all depends on your stride. I'm pretty tall. You know, I'm 6'2". So if you want to factor that into your equation there, you can be my guest. Five 10-inch. No, that's too rich for my blood, man. I'm dipping grizzly right now, but normally it's cougar, but they were out of it up at the gas station, so had to spring for grizzly. I don't know what you guys are paying for a can of dip where you are, but they've gone up, you know, around here. Hey, what's happening, Havoc? At the red mullet. Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Oh, it's 13 bucks in Florida? Shit. You're probably paying 10 here. Can of Grizzly's about 8. Eric, what's up? But shit, wasn't too far back. Can of Grizzly was $4. Yeah, New York is brutal. Hey, cat. Come on. Yeah, I had a boss who ended up moving to California, and he chewed Kodiak, and I can't remember what he said it was out there, like $15 or some shit. Oh yeah, shit, I better not shoot that cat. Look at him, here he is again. You probably can't see him on camera there, but he's just wanting to hang out next to that target. Come on, man. You out of your mind? This guy right here, he's the chief rat catcher around here. He's important. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. I got a female cat that does a little bit better job than he does. He's good at eating them. I'll say that much, but yeah, he's a good cat. I used to not have a lot of barn cats around here, and I was raising hogs kind of over by where that barn was, and I had a rat problem from absolute hell. And then a few cats started coming around, and they cleared that up for me pretty good, but for a while, holy shit, they were everywhere. You know, and I had a steel hog feeder, and those rats had made a warren underneath the feeder, like chewed a hole in the bottom of that thing and were eating grain out of it. It's crazy. You know, I don't know, to be honest with you. I know that that's true, but I don't know why. Yeah, I suppose you're right about that one, ain't you? Oh. Why from? Where am I from? Eastern South Dakota. Yeah, it's an abnormally nice day. It shouldn't look like this. There should be fucking snow everywhere. This goddamn cat. Oh, really? Yeah, I know. It's crazy, isn't it? He's got 80 acres to just roam around. Most of it's hay ground, and chooses that target to hang out from. Wait from, I don't stand. I'm gonna guess you're using the auto translate feature, which must have just got activated. I'm from the United States. See, he's crawling in the back of that backstop. Oh, you're from Pakistan? Well, how is it over in Pakistan? I was talking to a bunch of people from Eastern Europe the other day. Sounds like a pretty wild time over there. I can only imagine Pakistan's about the same. You love Arsh? All right, man. Hell yeah, I love Arsh too. I'm gonna assume you were saying archery. You know, I don't know for sure, but how many years do I arch? Quite a few years, buddy. I'm 37, and I don't know when I got my first bow, but I was pretty young. Probably like, shit, I don't know, 8. 29 years, something like that. Long time. Yeah, man, it's a good time. It's good for you. Gets you outside, out in nature. I think people are probably spending a little too much time inside. What's wrong with them? Oh, dude, I don't know. They just like honking, you know. They get tuned up, man. And you hear that all day around here, just honking like that, and then quacking. I got a flock of ducks that walks around here, but they ain't as bad as guinea fowl were. Those were very loud and dumb. They're just a dumbass bird, you know. I don't think I'll ever raise them again. Geese have been all right though. They're easy keepers as long as you can put up with the noise. Hunter, what's up? How are you? No, I'm shooting right-handed. I know it looks like I'm shooting left-handed, but I'm not. I'm a left-handed person, but I shoot right-handed. It's just the camera inverts. And there's something I could do about that in the settings. Like I could, flip it back around so it was the way it should be, but I just never do it. But it is an option. No, it ain't a bobcat. It's just a big fat tomcat. Looks kind of like a bobcat though. No, this is some cheap job. Deer seeker. I do have a bear bow, but it is old as hell. It's from like the 70s. And I'm just waiting for the day that thing delaminates, so I don't shoot it very much. Wasn't taken very good care of, you know what I mean? I mean, there's bows from the 70s that stay good, but not too many of them, especially when you got weird weather. It gets real humid here, then it gets real dry. It's not good for a bow. And then mainly, what I do is bow fishing, so that adds to the problem. Oh, no shit. Yeah, when I'm doing target practice or shooting fish, all I use is 35 pounds. It's more than enough for what I'm shooting at. And I'll sit out here sometimes and shoot for like, an hour and a half. You shoot a 60-pound bow that long, you're gonna notice. Archery is a watch out sound fair. Yeah, sure, man. I totally pick up what you're putting down. Oh, I bet you are. I was watching some shit about them longbowmen from England, and they would shoot a heavy bow, like a 80-90 pound bow, and it would change their bone structure from all the practicing they did. It was crazy. I don't know what exactly it did, but it fucked them up. Man. USAF, I am having a hell of a time trying to understand what you are telling me. I'm sure it's important though. Yeah, that's just crazy. I can't imagine shooting a 120-pounder like that. Oh, hell no. I don't even like horses, to be honest with you. I'm in southeastern South Dakota. To be honest with you, when I was young, very young, this was a horse farm. You know, my grandparents had horses and shit like that. I was never into them. I much prefer, I'd rather ride a steer than a horse. You know, just hay burners, you know, expensive. At least when you get sick of having a steer, you can eat him, you know. No snow in South Dakota. Nope. It is, I don't know what it is right now. Probably, you know, because it's starting to get dark out, like 45 degrees, but it's going to be 60 this weekend. Pretty damn hot for this time of year. In fact, I think it's going to be a record on Sunday. So do with that information what you will. Yeah, it is crazy. It is wild. Our weather has been all over the place. We went from a couple years ago, we had just crazy flooding. Right where I'm standing 2 years ago, it was like the Missouri River. You know, it's crazy. You know, I could have been fishing right here. And then just drought after that. Yeah, it's wild. In fact, where I'm standing right now used to be, I was raising goats in here, and after that flood came, I wasn't going to get any hay that year. You know, it just smashed my hayfield down, smashed all my fencing, so I sold all my goats. So that flood got me out of the goat business. Now I'm just in the hay business. But yeah, that was something. Xavier, what's up? That one straggling goose. Yeah, it's all right. You know, depending on where you're at. It's nice. You know, I'm in the extreme southeast corner. You know, getting close to Iowa and Nebraska and shit like that. But you start getting out west, you know, out in the hills and, you know, in that real short grass prairie, that's where it's the prettiest, to be honest with you. I mean, this is nice. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining about where I live, but, you know, the real pretty stuff's out west. Death Valley. No, that's over in California, isn't it? You must be talking about the Badlands. The Badlands is pretty. But if you ever get a chance to, if you decide you're going to go on vacation to South Dakota, you know, I'd definitely hit up, you know, Spearfish Canyon, go over to Black Elk Peak, you know, all those places, you know, all the spots, Deadwood, all that shit. Well, skip Deadwood, you know, that isn't that interesting. Unless you're into that. I mean, there's that old history out there. You can go see where old Wyatt Earp was buried and shit, but you know, if you're into that, but a lot of good hiking out there. Trout fishing, you know, shit like that. There goes that cat again. Gonna walk right in front of the target. Very casual individual. Hey, cat. I'm a bow fisher. I don't hunt deer or anything like that. You know, I've just never been really that interested in it. I like to, the only thing I shoot with a bow is rabbits and fish and shit like that. The only other hunting I do is, you know, ducks and geese and all that. And pheasants, obviously, out here in South Dakota. And I do that all with a shotgun, so. I suppose I could try and hunt pheasants with a bow, but it's pretty tough operation. Yeah, I shoot a lot of carp. Shoot them and then I feed them to my chickens. I used to feed them to hogs, you know, and they loved them. It was great, you know. Don't have any hogs right now, but if I did, I'd keep doing it. I eat some of them, you know, the carp. Depends, you know, those silver carp and big head carp. I'll eat one of them every once in a while. I'm not too keen on eating the commons, but I will eat silvers. Yeah, they're easy to feed. That's for sure. It's not a lot of the carp. Whenever I cut into them, I don't find any worms in them. You know what I do find a lot of worms in is catfish. When it gets to the hot part of the summer, and you catch a good sized catfish, cut that open, you're liable to find some worms in there. But you know, carp, not really. I don't think they're as dirty of a fish as you know, people like to say they are. Especially the silvers. Well, boys, I think I'm gonna hang her up. My shots are all over the place. Can't really tell, but it's getting a little dark out. Pole lights on, but it was nice talking to y'all. And I'll probably see you next time. So take her easy.